Hi, how are you doing? I have a podcast. This podcast is called Tales from the Script. And on this podcast, I basically talk about whatever shit occurs to me. And last week, this is what I did on the podcast. I read a story. And then I thought to myself, girl, you have a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel that you don't even use. So why not read your story for your YouTube channel? The story is an outtake or a missing scene from In Search of Paradise, my book, my post-apocalyptic gay African romance, sci-fi thriller. I'm not very good at coloring inside the lines. So it's kind of like a lot of romance, a bit of post-apocalyptic dystopic, a lot of like fantasy. Yeah, so because when you're writing a story, you can't just write a story about one thing because that's not how life works. When you're living, things are happening, many things. You're falling in love, meanwhile, your world is falling apart or coming together. You know how it is. So, in this case, they're falling in love and the world is falling apart. So, this is the first missing scene. There are going to be a few more. You can find them on my hub page. Let me show you. I hope you can see. See? There it is. Just look for my hub page and you will get regular updates of my stories. Okay. Promise. So here goes nothing. I'm reading to you. It doesn't have a name. It's just missing scene 1. Okay. So, stranded. Is this the ghost and the darkness territory? Should we be stopping? Anders glared at his sister. A ton of fuel. The next petrol station is how far away? We have no money. So what do you suggest? She peered down at her gauge. My piki has fuel. I can keep going. Fine, go, Ben snapped as he stepped off his bike. Leave your bro. She narrowed her eyes at him. I can carry my bro on my Buddha. You're the one we'll leave. Zawadi! Anders' tone was chiding as he gave her a look. What? It's true. We're not leaving him. Why not? See, he can turn back and go get his girlfriend. She gave Ben a nasty look. So at this point in the story, there's a bit of a link which takes you to the outtake where Ben met his alleged girlfriend. Ben is in the closet. That's why he has a girlfriend. She's his beard. Okay? Argument. We go to the next part. He sighed and looked away. Taking a few steps away from his bike, he peered into the long grass. Is it weird that there are no other people nearby? Ben asked. What if the ghost and the darkness ate them? Zawadi replied at once. The ghost and the darkness weren't immortal, which means they're dead. Their grandchildren are alive. I'm sure lions have enough to eat. Remember those zebras we passed a few kilometers back? Anders said, trying to lower the temperature. Anders is always the peacemaker. You know? Ben is the leader. Zawadi is the hater. Either way, we can't just sleep in the middle of the road and we can't sleep in the bushes. We have to find shelter. Ben turned around and looked at Anders. Zawadi is right. We have to find some shelter. It doesn't have to be a house. If we can find a big enough baobab tree, maybe we can climb it. Lions climb trees, Zawadi said at once. Anders rolled his eyes. Suddenly they heard the most unlikely sound. A car engine. Moving off the road, they waited anxiously to see what would appear. They dragged their bikes off the road as they saw the car come into view. It's a probox. Should we try to flag it down? Anders asked. Yeah, let's. Zawadi was already stepping onto the road, a buibui flapping in the wind. Someone might think you're a genie or a really huge crow. Ben shifted her onto the side of the road. Let me try. Zawadi glared at him but stayed put. Ben began to wave up and down frantically. He saw the moment that the driver saw them. She slowed down a bit, peering at them before she pressed down on the accelerator. No! Ben shouted before throwing himself in front of the car. You can't leave us here! Ben! Anders screamed in fear as the car came to a screeching halt mere inches from where Ben was standing. Zawadi darted forward and grabbed the passenger door. Where am I, she screamed. Ngemua! The woman in the driver's seat looked scared. Sina kitu, leave me alone, please. We don't want to steal from you, Ben said, keeping his hand on the car as he circled to her side. Tunahitaji lift too. Please, madam, just to the nearest shelter. Our bikes have issued fuel. The woman was trying to look at all three of them at once. Mom, see we take them with us. Ben jumped as the little face appeared in the window, behind the driver's seat. A young boy staring at them, all with wide eyes. His mother looked even more scared. We can help you. More protection. Ben put up his hands. We're good people. My name is Ben Rojamong. This is my friend, my Anders Michelson, and his sister Zawadi Akasha. We've come from Nairobi. We're looking for somewhere safe. The woman blinked at him a few times, looking uncertain. Please, he said again. She sighed with resignation and reached over to unlock the door on the passenger side. Msichana akae nyuma, next to Barasa. You, Ben, sit next to me. Your friend, sit next to his sister. Ben smiled with relief. Thank you. He hurried over to the other side, urging Zawadi, who was glaring at him again, to enter the car, and then Anders, who was avoiding his eyes. Now what have I done? He thought. He sat in the front seat and kept up friendly conversation as the woman drove. She dropped them in front of a mosque. See, here is okay? She asked Ben. He nodded and smiled. Asante sana, Mami. She nodded. They alighted the vehicle and watched her drive away. He turned to Anders. Do you think anyone else is still here? Anders shrugged. So Adi had already started walking towards the building, dragging her bag behind her. Anders began to follow her. Ben hurried to catch up. Yo, Anders, wait, what's up with you? He reached out and wrapped his hand around Anders' arm to stop him from hurrying away. Nothing is up with me. Now, can you let my hand go? Connie, what did I do? You guys didn't want a lift? Anders just looked at him. I said there's nothing. You know, I thought one advantage I had with not being interested in chicks is not dealing with that passive aggressive bullshit. Oh, so now you remember you like guys. Do you sleep with all your friends or am I special? Ben blinked at him in confusion before the penny dropped. He expelled a breath, looking away. Look, I wanted to get a lift. Did you want to give her one more reason to refuse? Is that really why you... Ben stepped closer. What other reason is there? We're in the middle of nowhere. Exactly. Even in the middle of nowhere, I can't be your boyfriend. Ben grabbed Anders' face, cupping his cheeks, and pressed his lips hard against Anders. Anders stiffened before softening in Ben's arms. Regardless of how hard Ben was holding him, their tongues tangled together as Anders' hands came up and closed around Ben's wrists. The kiss went from hard to soft in seconds. Ben made a pained sound inside Anders' mouth, his right hand snaking around Anders' neck and bringing him closer. Their tongues tangled together as they pressed against each other. Ben stepped back, feeling dazed. You're always my boyfriend, whether I call you that or not. I thought you knew that by now. Anders just stared at him. Sometimes it's nice to hear it. And that concludes chapter 1 of Missing Scenes. If you enjoyed yourself, you can look for more of the story. It's available anywhere digital ebooks are sold. In Search of Paradise is brought to you by Creativity Defined.